Full and Bloom News Brief. More info at fullandbloom.com. Frankie Banali's time in W.A.S.P is usually remembered for his playing on the Headless Children and later records. But behind the scenes, there were deep personal ties, fallouts, and a big gap in how people in the band were getting paid. During an interview on Sound Matters Radio, the Quiet Riot drummer talked about how he first got involved with W.A.S.P. It's funny, Frankie said. We actually knew each other before I got involved with Dobro, which was the precursor to Quiet Riot. And what happened is, Blackie was looking for a permanent drummer, and I was busy working with Quiet Riot. This was 87 or 88. We were working on the fourth Quiet Riot album, and I said to Blackie, I can't join the band, but if you want me to do the record, I will. So I did the Headless Children record, which is my favorite of the 8 or 9 that I played on with W.A.S.P. As it turned out, when I was in Tokyo in 89, I decided I wanted to put Quiet Riot on hold for a while because it wasn't working with that particular lineup. And Blackie, I don't know how he found out about it, called me and said, stay in Tokyo for another week, do press for the Headless Children, fly to London, and we'll start pre-production rehearsals the following week in London. And I did the world tour for the Headless Children.
But I'm taking off 6 to 8 weeks from Quiet Riot at the end of our Japanese tour and going straight over to London, and I'll start the W.A.S.P tour over there. But it's not that I'm leaving Quiet Riot unless something happens that I don't know of. But I'm not planning to leave Quiet Riot. I just love to work.
In a statement following Frankie's death in 2020, Blackie said, I met Frankie July 17, 1975. It was my first night in Hollywood. I was scared to death and had no idea what waited for me in this dream factory that promised so much, but at the same time had a reputation that preceded itself of being astonishingly cruel to its naive dreamers. He was outside leaning up against the wall at the Roxy on the Strip. Arthur Kane had met him on the last New York Dolls trip to LA, and he introduced me to him. I remember thinking, I don't even care if this guy can play. This guy's an absolute rock star and nobody knows it yet. I wanted to be in a band with him bad. Over the years, our lives crossed paths in many ways, both personally and professionally, and I would go see the bands he was playing in, and he stuck out in all of them. His talent separated him from everyone else he was on stage with. One night in 1979, I ran into him at a burger joint and played him a demo of the songs I had just completed. We sat in my car and listened, and it was at that moment we started to really develop a friendship that would last us all of our lives. Those songs we listened to that night in my car would later become the foundation that both he and I would build from the ground up 11 years later. The record would be called The Crimson Idol. Ex-W.A.S.P guitarist Chris Holmes had his own long, messy history with both men, and even his memories of Frankie are colored by how they first met. In a 2018 interview with Eon Music, Holmes said, I roadied for a band when I was 16 that Frankie played drums for. His guitar player was a guy that gave me Blackie's number to join Sister when I was 17, so he always treated me like a roadie. During a brand new interview with Rock Interview Series, Holmes was asked if he would ever consider rejoining W.A.S.P if Blackie Lawless asked him to. Holmes said, no. Do you know what happened with my publishing? Why would I play with Blackie again? It would be pretty stupid, wouldn't it? He'd have to pay me my publishing, and he's not going to do that. I'd be an idiot to go back. Listen, when we were on the road, Frankie Banali's not going to tour unless he gets $1,850 a week, and I'm getting $500 a week. I went to Blackie and said, well, it doesn't seem right. I'm one of the main guys that people come to see, and Frankie's not, but he's getting $1,850, and I get $500? That's almost 4 times as much. Blackie grabs me and puts his arm around me, and he goes, you're going to make more off your publishing. What are you worried about? When he knew he was taking my money, when he knew they already wrote me down as a session player. What kind of person does that? You think I'd ever want to sit in a room with that guy? No, he's a malignant narcissist, and I don't want to be around people like that anymore. There's no money in the world. I want to be happy. I want to be around people I enjoy being with, that make me smile, that crack jokes. I don't need to be around people like that. Plus, from the KFD album on, W.A.S.P was nothing but a depression to play with live because they were sampling, and it's not live to me. And it hurt me in my heart to be playing, knowing I was faking it to people, or the band was faking it. I wasn't, but knowing that I was faking it, I really hated myself for doing that. A link to the entire interview can be found in the description. More news at fullandbloom.com.